37 seconds. Please find your seats, please.
Welcome back. I was an acolyte in the Methodist Church, and I still can't get it right. Welcome to this morning's celebration of life. Our musician today is the one and only Mr. Scott Hooker. Our opening song is in the Pink Book. In fact, all our songs are conveniently in the Pink Book today. I'm on my way. Page 29. Page 29. Welcome to the First Existentialist Congregation of Atlanta. We are a philosophically based spiritual community founded on existentialist and feminist principles. We make our spiritual home in this old stone church, which was hand-built by the African-American Antioch East Baptist Church. We acknowledge that racial hostility drove those African-Americans from the area, and we honor them in the powerful history of this place. We also acknowledge that the Muskogee Creek people were driven from this land, and we support justice for all indigenous people. Wow, what a way to open. Thank you, Scott. And I would also like to thank all those who organized and performed in Friday's coffee house. It was a special, joyful, spirit-filled moment, and it enriched all our lives. So thank you all. Gene and everybody that organized, Scott and Janna and the other performers did. It was just wonderful. Thank you very much. Wake up and live, y'all. Wake up and live. Wake up and live now. Wake up and live. Life is one big road with lots of signs, so when you're riding through ruts, don't you complicate your mind. Flee from hate, mischief, and jealousy. Don't bury your thoughts. Put your vision to reality. Song lyrics by Bob Marley and Horace Anthony Davis.
Yeah.
Is anyone here for the first time? And if so, would you like to stand and introduce yourselves? Let us know how you came here this morning. Okay, it looks like we're all veterans in assembly today. Is anyone celebrating a birthday or an anniversary or some milestone that we can sing to you?
No, I'm not, but my daughter is going to be 36 on Wednesday, so really, 36. And it's like service with him, or whatever.
You're celebrating an anniversary.
And Stell had a birthday on the 25th. But I don't know if we sang that. Happy anniversary, number 35. Happy anniversary. Looks like that marriage might stick. Any others? Okay. Our next song is on page 52 in the pink book. It's Freedom is a Constant Struggle. Scott, take it away. We now invite Reverend Marsha Metzler, our fellowship minister, to share her remarks.
How wonderful it is to see everybody today. This is great. I wonder what brought everybody out. So great to have gotten down to that. Yeah. Great to have gotten down to that. So awesome. And what a wonderful day. If you were not here on Friday night, did you miss something? We had such a great time. It was wonderful. And like Wade said, thank you so much for the performers, those who organized it, and those who came out and had a good time. It was a lot of fun. Great community spirit. Wonderful. Next Sunday is Day of the Dead. And I hope that, yeah, it is.
I think it's 2 weeks from now.
Isn't it next Sunday?
No.
Am I a whole week ahead?
You are.
You mean I have a whole nother week to prepare?
Yeah.
Welcome to the club.
At least you're not a week behind.
Yeah, that's true. At least I'm not a week behind. Well, in 2 weeks is Day of the Dead. And I hope that you will be looking through your photos and pulling out pictures of those that you have lost and want us to remember. We'll have a table up here for everyone to put their pictures, and that includes pets as well as family members and others that we've lost. I hope that you will think about doing that and join us for that. In the meantime, I hope that you will have a wonderful week. Yes, ma'am?
Next Saturday?
Oh, okay, I thought we'd do that but on Saturday. We have a wonderful event here coming up this Saturday. It's the Rose Hill commemorative celebration. And some of that will be here in the sanctuary, some of it will be across the street. There are those flyers there in the back. If you're a golfer, there's going to be a little golf tournament before the events here that start off at 1 o'clock. And it's going to be a very, I think, both exciting and moving experience to relive, in some respects, what happened to the African American community. That was a very thriving community that lived here right across the street before the racial overtones came in and had those houses taken down so that they could build a white-only park. So, anyway, please be sure and to come. And also, do we have enough people signed up for it, Edie?
We need some more folks on Saturday, and there's a sign-up sheet, and I can talk about that a little bit.
Okay. So, but so great to see all your faces, even with your mask on. Thank you for being here this morning.
I forgot to mention that if anyone has community announcements, please write them down and bring them up to me for reading later in the service. If you need paper, I have some right here. As we have just nationally recognized Indigenous Peoples Day on October 12th, I think it's appropriate that I share these words of wisdom from Ohiyesa, a Santee Dakota, or Santee Sioux man better known as Charles Eastman. He lived from 1858 to 1939. He was a writer, social reformer, and a physician, the first American Indian to receive certification in Western medicine, Charles Eastman. The Indian believes profoundly in silence, the sign of a perfect equilibrium. Silence is the absolute poise or balance of the body, mind, and spirit. What are the fruits of silence? They are self-control, true courage or endurance, patience, dignity, and reverence. Silence is the cornerstone of character. And at this time, we'll have a period of silent meditation. There are candles on either side, if you'd like to light them for any reason. Our next song is on page 33 of the Pink Book, This Little Light. Please rise as you would willing and able. This house is rocking. But it ain't religion that don't have snakes. At this time, does anyone have any
not everybody was here for the coffee house. And so he's just moving this microphone so you can hear the words.
I'm going to unmute myself for this one. Well, I just want to say what an absolute kick it is to be here after 3.5 years, y'all. And I did these Friday night. I'm going to do them in reverse order this morning, starting with the grim one. And this is Mose Allison tune, and I've always, ever as soon as I heard it, I thought that this was really, if there's one song that boils it down to existentialism 101, this is the song that I found. Fretting about what you're going through, regretting all the things you didn't do, relying on compensations you found, groaning beneath the weight of it, bemoaning the fickle fate of it, complying just to keep your feet on the ground. That won't get you any place, won't excuse you from the race. When you meet your destiny face to face, there'll be no more wrong or right, and no more wish I might. And if there's gonna be rain tonight, let it come down. Now we have a slightly more friendly one here from Alec Wilder, one of the really great and really underrated songwriters of the 20th century. He's also got a great book out about the history of American popular song. And it sounds like this. You think you've got it made, my friend, but oh, the kick is brief. Then suddenly you're shattered by the budding of a leaf. You must not fail to see it, all the wonder of the thing. It's a miracle that hits you, not just another spring. For those days you took for granted, and all the springs that bloomed before, take a new and rueful meaning when you ask, how many more? That year in Oakland High, when I was 17, the grass from there to San Jose was high and cool and green. I see it now. Too brash and young was I to know what time could mean. The old acacia long cut down was felt but never seen. I see it now. That world I knew is lost to me. Loves have come and gone. The years go racing by. I live as best I can, and all at once I know it means the making you know, I see it now.
Okay, I can get it out, I promise. Smooth operation.
Thank you, Scott. I don't know what else you've lost in your advanced age, but you certainly have not lost your voice. Our speaker for today is Reverend Janna Nelson, who is an ordained existentialist minister, ordained by the congregation in 1999. She is also a musician, a writer, a mother, an aunt, and a great aunt, which is one big reason she moved from Atlanta to Albuquerque 8 years ago, and she is fortunate to have a large family in New Mexico. She brings her existentialist and feminist perspective to daily living. This past year, she's been facilitating a small meditation group that is learning about Buddhism and meditation, with some existentialist and feminist thought here and there. She and Scott are both very excited about being back at the First Existentialist congregation, as it has been a long 3.5 years since they have been able to get back to Atlanta. Let's welcome Janna Nelson. Have somebody help me.
Wow, wow, wow. Here I am again. Felt kind of unreal. My heart is so full today. Do we still have the Book of Remembrance? We used to have it on a podium. I don't hear anybody saying yes.
We have it, it's just a way for safekeeping.
Gotcha, okay. Well, I just want to say, I'm missing some folks this morning that I'm used to seeing here. And I've learned with the loss of people close to me that sometimes, I don't want to be sad. I don't want to miss them. But when I miss somebody actively, and I'm aware of their physical absence, is actually when I feel their presence the most. So, I'm missing some folks, and that's okay, And they're with me, also. You're all part of me. We've been through a lot together. So, I looked at the program, and the sermon, I kind of waited, I had a lot of thoughts, and I thought I'm going to keep it kind of loose, and then I'm going to get up early in the morning and put it all together, and then I was up all night because there was my dogs are fine, but there was a dog emergency in Albuquerque, so I was on the phone throughout the night with my son in the bed. So, you're going to get what you're going to get. And I love it because the title that I submitted is The Courage to Be Now. And it comes out on the program as The Courage to Be with a question mark, which is just fine too. And then there was this quote that I want to read from Carl Sagan in the program that speaks to one of the places where I get some of my courage. The hard truth seems to be this: we live in a vast and awesome universe in which daily suns are made and worlds destroyed, where humanity clings to an obscure clod of rock. The significance of our lives and our fragile realm derives from our own wisdom and courage. We are the custodians of life's meaning. We would prefer it to be otherwise, of course, but there is no compelling evidence for a cosmic parent who will care for us and save us from ourselves. It is up to us. And it is a delight to be an existential community where we can talk about the hard things, where we can talk about contingency and ambiguity. Because I know that speaking here, I'm speaking to other human beings who are really trying to walk the freedom road. We talk about the freedom road a lot. And the courage to be now is becomes more challenging as we age for some of us. It's the courage to be now with sickness. Many of us are going through extended sicknesses. And how do you have self-determination? How do you find joy? How do you find expression when you're sick for periods of time? It takes a lot of courage to reach for healing. It takes courage these days to exist with so much hate, unleashed hate, violence. It's dangerous. It takes a lot of courage to be now because it is physically dangerous for some of us. It's always been for some of us. People that are marginalized know this. Our forebears know this. They have known danger from bigotry, from racism, from homophobia, transphobia, misogyny. And we can get complacent. Things are going great. We think we've made it. We've won our rights, and we kind of lower our need for paying constant attention. And it's kind of beyond us. We can do what we can do. We can vote. We can get people out. So many people are doing such great things here. But then you get to a certain point, and it's going to be what it's going to be. And so, my courage to be is to live with this knowledge of the danger that so many of us are in. The courage to be when dealing with really bad health care. You know, I've had 6 months of horror stories, and I know many of you have as well. But it's not a choice. We don't get to just say, oh, wham, this is too hard, and I'm just going to go to bed. And no, we have to resist the call to giving in. I mean, I think you take a day or two off, and then you got to get back up to it. Tillich wrote the book. Paul Tillich, a Christian existentialist theologian, wrote the book, The Courage to Be, and it was the first theology book to be a bestseller. It was like a bestseller on the New York Times list in the 1950s. And his concept of the courage to be was that it's self-affirmation in spite of the anxiety over the threat of non-being. It's saying, yes, I accept that I'm going to die, and that means that right now I need to be doing what I can to be as engaged in life as I can, to be living fully. Audre Lorde talks about that we have been trained, we've been raised to fear the yes within ourselves. And so much of the courage to be is recognizing those voices, those messages, those internalized voices that pull us towards alienation, that pull us away from this wondrous awareness of our interconnection. Because that's where healing is. Healing resides in those places between us, those relationships that we have, the quality of the relationships we have. Wade had a reading that made me think of the Navajo concept of Hotzo, which is spelled H-O-Z-H-O. And I don't want to, I want you to know it's a very complex and rich interlinked concept, so I'm not going to do it service in this moment fully, but I recommend everybody go and read about it because it has to do with harmony, balance. It has to do with walking a path of responsible language, thought, behavior. It has to do with my recognition that I have innate healing capacity. And it takes courage to reach for that. It speaks to being in good relationship. Being in good relationship with the earth, with the people in my family, with the people at work, but also being in good relationship with myself. And I tell you, during this pandemic, I had to work on my relationship with myself. You know, because me and myself and I spent a lot of time together. And that's another thing about existentialism that some people, I think, don't really like, that I sometimes don't like. But it is the commitment for me of looking at my own self-deception. Looking at those places where I'm not being honest with myself. Look at those places where I need healing. So I know that I'm speaking to people who know the weight, who know how much suffering there is in this world, who know that I am not free until everyone is free. Many of us are very sensitive to the plight, to the sufferings, to the depredations, to the terrible discrimination that's going on, and we get very activated. And for me, part of the courage to be has to do with constantly learning new tools that can help me soothe myself, that can help me rest, find some healing, find some peace, so that I can be effective in my life. So that I can have the courage to open to possibility, to open to the beauty that is the beauty in this room. And one of the things that I have really relied on over and over these last, well, forever, but in a more conscious way, is breath, breathing, meditation. And for me, part of what that has done is it's helped things not be so dense. Meditating has been a way for me to lighten up a little bit, to kind of zoom out a little bit. You know, we talk about trusting the flow, but we don't talk about trusting the ebb. You know? And so, having some faith in myself, continuing to heal those feelings of a lack of self-worth that were part of my kind of religious indoctrination. Continuing to learn. You know, I was really lucky. I got to do a workbook. It was The Body is Not an Apology by Sonia Renee Taylor. Also has a companion workbook. So I got to do that with a 35-year-old woman. And it was just wonderful to have this experience with a person of a different generation, totally different experiences, and just talking about the different ways that we can get trapped into seeing ourselves with negativity, instead of accepting that to be human means to get sick, to have loss, if we're lucky, to get old, you know, and to die. And to not rail against it. It's this, for me, you know, I've dealt with disability and at times pretty massive pain for 50 years now. And so the courage to be, when you're in physical pain, to keep moving. And it requires community, it requires projects, it requires opening into new possibilities. And it requires an honesty with myself. And it requires the art, for me, of feeling bad, being honest about that, without feeling bad about myself. Feeling bad without a sense of grievance, like I'm talking about actively all the time. I'm not talking about if you had mistreatment and you need to deal with it and there's anger, but it's focused anger on how am I going to get some relief in this situation. I'm talking about that unrestrained anger that can sabotage your joy, where you're just kind of mad all the time and you just feel punished and I really, instead of asking why me, asking why not me. I mean, there's so many horrible things that could have happened to me in my life. And I've had incredible experiences. And I've known love and connection. So, the courage to be in dangerous times requires so much. And they've always been dangerous times. It's dangerous being a human. And that's why we need community. Because when we're in situations where there's potential for threat, we have to be protected. We have to find ways to have boundaries and to take care of ourselves and to look out for ourselves and each other, to stand up for each other, to advocate. But then we need places, we need sanctuaries where we can come and be vulnerable. We need places where it is okay to stand up and say, I am having a hard time today. We need places where we don't feel like we have to show up and be fixed or be healed or have it all together. And we also need places where we can celebrate when we do have moments where we feel like we've gotten it together for a minute, where we've been able to accomplish something like writing a book or going on a trip or seeing family. So I've also, these last 2.5 years, more than ever before, well, more than since my kind of searchings when I was in my 20s and 30s, I have felt that longing for some kind of ultimate comfort, for somebody to say, it's all going to be okay. And so digging deep into the philosophy, returning to the path over and again that our forebears have trod, Audre Lorde, James Baldwin, Simone de Beauvoir, Jean-Paul Sartre, these paths have been trod. There are lights for us to follow. There are ways for us to follow. And I get off and I get away from myself. I get pulled away from myself. I get filled with distraction and anxiety. And again, breath helps me return. We don't have a sanctuary like this in Albuquerque. And we miss it. We miss it a lot. First Existentialist Congregation is a very, very special and wonderful place that has provided so much to this community and to individuals. One way we have the courage to be is to be who we are. To show who we are is by having pride. I was very happy that you all were able to participate in Pride this year. And I found out that July is Disability Pride Month. And I find it interesting, you don't really hear a lot about that. But a lot of people are disabled. I guess maybe it speaks to the shame around disability. The shame around recognizing our human limitation, because we all are limited. We are all finite. Some of us are temporarily abled, but if you live long enough, something's going to hit you probably. Maybe not. There's some lucky people out there, and I'm happy for them. But yeah. So I was getting ready for a concert and I was having a lot of anxiety and, you know, about details and this and that. And I'd been working really hard and, you know, you just want it to be I don't want it to be perfect because perfect is a myth. Perfect will wear you out. Perfect will keep you stuck. Perfect will keep you disconnected from people. There's this great quote, which is, be messy, complicated, and afraid, and show up anyway. You know, that's what we gotta do. That's what we gotta do. I know that I'm speaking to people here who know that life is not about climbing to the mountaintop and leaving all of the troubles behind. It doesn't work like that. Not if we want to stay in the real world. So it's good to speak to existentialists that are grounded in science and the fact that there are objective facts. And we need sanctuary, we need to protect each other. We need to share information. We need to be watching out when we're in public for other people. We need to let people know we're paying attention. Sometimes I feel like bearing witness is part of what this time is for many of us. You know, when you deal with limited energy and disability and sickness and da-da-da-da-da, and you're reading about the troubles of the world, what can you do? And sometimes bearing loving witness. But also the space that I get in meditation that kind of helps me zoom out, use some tools for soothing myself, and recognizing I might be smaller than a speck of sand. I don't know how you measure that kind of stuff. But we're in the middle of, we're really living in remarkable times. It's excruciating, but it's kind of fascinating. You know, we're in the middle of one of those convulsive swings of the pendulum. So we have to cultivate our own gardens, tend to our relationships. And for me, I have to be diligent about my self-talk. I have to be diligent about attitudes that can creep in that create unnecessary suffering. And that's a lot of what I've gotten from the Buddhist reading that I've been doing for years now is that. And one reason why I'm finding Buddhism interesting is it also deals with ambiguity and complexity and radical acceptance. It's the whole enchilada. We don't get to pick and choose. We don't get everything we want, and we get a lot of what we don't want. You know? So learning how to say, that's the way it goes. So how am I going to take this? What am I going to do with this? How am I going to learn to let it go? How am I going to learn to build community? Because I think part of the thing is when you're in a sanctuary, when you're in a community of liberation, you're doing your own work to free yourself from bigotry, from ignorance, from hatred, then you take that with you wherever you go. We create, I really have been I've really been thinking a lot about how we need to create cultures of encouragement. You know? And forgiveness. My word. Just, you know, it's like somebody says something wrong and it's like, ooh, what did you just say? That was kind of weird. And then, you know, we create space. People change. People are capable of change. And we're here to help expand those possibilities. Not to put people in boxes. Now, I know there's a lot of stuff going on up there that is, wow. It's scary. We're living in scary times. But I am glad to be in a place where we talk about the courage to choose joy, the courage to resist the kind of just virulent and ugly hatred that is out there. And the thing is, I don't even know how to communicate to people who have so much bigotry in their heart, because I feel bad for them. Because that feels terrible. To feel that way towards somebody else, what that must do, that is not living in harmony. That is not living in wellness. So we have to be strong, and we have to be gentle, and we have to be tender with each other. I know we have a kiddish, so I'm going to wrap up here with a poem from Sonia Renee Taylor. Oh no, I'm sorry, this is Adrienne Marie Brown. She wrote a book. No, I'm blanking on it. Okay. You are a miracle walking. I greet you with wonder. In a world which seeks to own your joy and your imagination, you have chosen to be free. Every day is a practice. I can never know the struggles you went through to get here, but I know you have swum upstream, and at times it has been lonely. I want you to know I honor the choices you made in solitude, and I honor the work you have done to belong. I honor your commitment to that which is larger than yourself, and your journey to love the particular container of life that is you. You are enough. Your work is enough. You are needed. Your work is sacred. You are here, and I am grateful. And that word grateful, gratitude, that is one of the biggest courage-creating emotions that I know. To start the day with gratitude to the people that made it possible for me to be here. Gratitude for the people in my life. Gratitude for this beautiful earth. Without gratitude, Scott, I'm doing my thumb down. Without gratitude, I'm sunk. And I get away from it. But then coming back, and we are all marvels. We are all doing the best we can. And it is amazing to me. I come here and I see the flourishing preschool, and I hear about the Rose Hill and the Great Stone Church History Project, and there's just so much dynamic stuff going on. The coffee house. And we give each other that spirit back and forth to persist, to keep going. We support each other. And that's what it takes. That's what gives courage. So I really appreciate you all being here today. It's wonderful to see everybody. And I know that I almost thought about opening this up and then it would probably be too chaotic, but I'm sure a lot of you have wonderful, wonderful thoughts and ideas about what the courage to be means for you. Courage to be intentional. The courage to choose love. The courage to choose openness. You're a bunch of brave people. Proud to know you. Use a microphone to lead it. And people don't have to do this, but I remember used to sometimes we would stand up and hold hands. And that's kind of sweet. So if you want to do that, do that. And if not, do what you want to do. It's the kind of place we are, right? Ain't you gotta ride?
Feel the love. Thank you, Scott and Jen, and everyone. I love you all. Yesterday is gone. Tomorrow has not yet come. We have only today. Let us begin. Mother Teresa. This